and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone had a nice happy new year as we are officially in 2023. So you all know that a couple of months ago I went on a Caribbean cruise. So it's now been like a couple of months later and I've had time to fully reflect, think about what I liked, what I disliked, and that's why I'm doing a video now. So this video is going to be all about my time and experience on Britannia, things I enjoyed, the things that I think really worked, the ports, the suite, everything about the cruise in general. And I'm just going to have a nice discussion and a nice reflection on the cruise. So I'm going to start by talking about the whole embarkation process, because I did a fly cruise where I flew to the Caribbean. I flew to Barbados, so it's a bit different than if you're cruising from, say, Southampton, because I live very close to Southampton, so it's a bit of a different process from when you're having to, you know, go to an airport, get on the plane, then get to the ship. So I'm going to firstly discuss that process and how it went. So the cruise was obviously booked with P&O and it was on Britannia, and how P&O do their fly cruises, they use charter flights. So they charter a whole plane and everyone on that same plane is going on that exact cruise that you're going on. So the whole process, just thinking about that even before we actually did it, it sounds a lot easier than a normal plane process. And it was. Everything was just a lot easier. There was no faffing around with the airport check-in and any of that. There was there's no hassle. It was just hassle free. We got all the information a couple of months prior with regards to the flight time, what the airport is, the terminal, the actual airline that we're flying with. So we had all that information directly from P&O. So that was a lot easier because we weren't having it all from different things. It was all just from P&O direct. And when we got to the airport, we flew from Gatwick. We got to the North Terminal. We got there about 3.5 hours prior to the departure time, to the flight time. And they usually say that. They say long haul flights, 3.5 hours. And we checked in. The check-in process took about 20 minutes. That was just easy enough. They sort of just did the same thing that they usually do with normal flights, with like scheduled flights. They just, how many bags have you got, check your passports, check you're all sitting together, print out your boarding passes, and then that's it, all done. And there was nothing else really to mention about like that side, like Gatwick and flying and everything like that, because everything was just normal, how you'd expect it. Flight was on time. We just had some breakfast in the terminal. We got to the terminal, the gate, got on, and then we took off. So that was easy. What we found really impressive, and we've never done a fly cruise before, so I think this really surprised us, as in like we were pleasantly surprised. When we got to Barbados, we got straight off the plane onto buses and then straight onto the ship. So that whole process was so easy. We just got there, got off, we all got taken to all little buses. They were like really small Caribbean cute buses. Took us about 45 minutes to get to the cruise terminal. And then there was no one in the queue in the cruise terminal, because I think it was like a staggered arrival because of how the planes all arrived. So check-in took about 2 minutes. I kid you not. They literally checked your boarding passes, checked your passports, and just said welcome on board. Went through security, no queue for security, literally nothing, no issues there. And then we got onto the ship. So from the actual time of getting off the plane and getting onto the ship, that was all probably about 50 minutes, and 45 of those minutes was on the bus getting to the cruise terminal. So everything was so easy. You didn't even have to get your luggage off. They got your luggage off the plane, and a couple of hours later your luggage was outside your cabin. So it was amazing, really amazing. I will say though, I did hear from other guests on board, or from previous cruises, maybe not just that one, but from previous cruises, that sometimes a guest's suitcase arrives a lot later than normal. So, you know, you might have you might get on the ship at like 7 o'clock in the evening and your luggage won't be outside your door until like 3 AM the next morning. So a tip here, put something like a change of clothes or something, if you're wanting to get changed for dinner, in your hand luggage, so you've got a set of clothes just in case your luggage takes longer than expected to arrive outside your cabin. But ours wasn't like, ours was really easy. Yeah, we were lucky, I guess. But I don't think anyone had any issues on our cruise because all the luggage was out there really quick. But we went for dinner, got back, and the luggage was out there, so probably about an hour it was all there ready to go, and nothing was broken, nothing was damaged on the way there. Sadly, that was different coming back. They damaged my suitcase coming back, but that wasn't P&O, that was just obviously the port agents, all of those staff that are employed there. But I'm just getting another suitcase because it was quite cheap and I'm not going to claim on that. So yeah, that whole process was just so smooth sailing, literally, pun intended. And yeah, it was a really nice start to the holiday as well, because there's nothing worse than coming on board or starting your holiday in a negative way, and that certainly wasn't the case for us. We were so happy. We were tired, don't get us wrong, we were really tired, but everything just went smooth, and yeah, it was just perfect. So really well done to P&O. Now I'm gonna do a full separate video on what I'm gonna talk about next, but this is just gonna be a brief thing of what I'm gonna talk about, because I wanted to mention it on here just because I am reflecting on the cruise. But I want to talk about our suites just for a bit. We had an amazing suite. We had such a lovely cabin. Our butler was amazing. His name was Santosh. I'm going to talk about him more in the separate like suite review video, but he was amazing. We saw him every day. He asked us how our day was. He asked us if he could get us anything. He gave us, he stocked up our ice bucket every day because obviously it was really hot, so we wanted like ice cold drinks. He got my mum oat milk because she's dairy free, lactose free. He couldn't do enough. I do say I don't think we utilised him as much as other guests have, but there was no need for us to bother him. I know that's his job, but we didn't need him for anything other than like room service and the ice and things like that. So I think he was lucky with us because we didn't really need him, so I don't think he did much. And the suite itself is stunning, absolutely beautiful. I loved it being at the front of the ship, the forward of the ship. It was stunning. We had that amazing window so we could see at the front and out the side because we had the larger balcony. The space, the wardrobe space, the bathroom. We had like a whirlpool jet bath and a full-on shower. It was amazing, just everything about that. I will never forget being able to stay in a suite on a cruise. So moving on to the ship itself. So I have always said that Britannia is my favourite cruise ship, and even after this cruise, nothing has changed. She is still my absolute favourite. That she's just modern, she's just the decor, like the dark wooden decor, the lights, like the spotlights on even just the spotlights on the cabin doors. I keep doing that, I don't know why, but it was just, the ship is always stunning as usual. There was nothing noticeably wrong. There was no like, she didn't look old, she didn't look tired, she looked just spotless, clean, how you'd want it to be, especially, you know, in sort of post-COVID days, you want everything to just be completely clean and sanitized, and it was truly amazing. And she's just a very easy ship to navigate. She's bigger, but she's not like massive, but she's not too small where you're like seeing the same people twice, because I always say on a cruise ship, even if you're next to a cabin, if you don't know them, you will not see them ever. Like, I've spent so many cruises where I've never seen the person next to me, like not even on a balcony or anything like that. I've never seen them ever. So I just feel like she's the perfect size. I think her passenger capacity is 3,600, which I think is a great size. I don't think that's too small or too big. And yeah, it's just the whole ship was just stunning, and I want to go on her again soon. So during our cruise, our itinerary, we visited 9 ports, and I quickly want to say I've never visited any Caribbean ports before. The closest that I've visited to there is Florida. So we were so lucky that we were all able to, this was the first time for us all, it was just amazing. And at the end of the cruise, me and Sophie have got this app where we can list how many countries we've visited and like our aim, and like we can set goals for how many countries we want to visit, you know, before this, before that, before the end of the year or whatever. And our aim was always to do 30 countries before we're 30. And after our final port, Barbados, and then flying home, well, we both did it. I'm so happy. I've done the 30 and Sophie's done 31. So I am thrilled. So thank you to the 9 ports. You were all stunning. I will say as well, the ports were all, the way they did the itinerary was, I think, just perfect, because they had a couple of sea days in between for you to maybe just chill and relax, because a lot of the time you're getting tired from visiting a lot of the ports, so it's nice to have sea days in between. The ports were all very different. You had some very like well done and developed ports like Curacao and St Lucia and those places, but then you had other places like St Vincent where everything's just as it is and nothing's changed and nothing's been done to it or anything like that. It's just completely there, like almost what I call raw, just there, and they haven't done anything to it, which are just they're so different to the other ports that we've seen. So just 9 beautiful places, and if you're going or looking at a cruise doing any of the 9, you are so lucky because they are all stunning. My favourite ports were probably Curacao and St Martin. I liked St Martin because it was very, I think I liked them because they were very, they were developed, and there was more of an atmosphere, like close to the ships, close to the actual like port terminal area. There was a lot of shops that you could visit. It just felt very like there was a vibe, there was a fun atmosphere, there was a lot going on, and I loved both beaches that we went to. We went to St Martin, we went to Little Bay, which again was like a private resort, and Curacao we went to Blue Bay, which again was a private resort, and they were stunning beaches, amazing beaches, just beautiful. There are just no words. I also loved Barbados when we went to the boatyard, so maybe I have a top, they're my top 3. I'm just gonna list all of them now, but no, I loved all of them. They were just, they're so picturesque. They're just what you see online, because I remember leading up to the holiday, you'd look online, you'd look on like Google Images and all the photos and stuff, and you think, well, it's not going to look like that because it's all photoshopped and stuff like that. But you know, some of them, yes, they are very photoshopped, but some of them aren't. Some of them are just like legit like for like what you're looking at online. So yeah, I was just really happy to be able to just go on these different beaches and just sit on like white sand. Or in St Vincent we went to a beach to have black sand, because it was like it was from the volcanic ash that made it go black. That was stunning, that was amazing. I did feel like though my least favourite, and I'm sad to say it, was St Lucia. I did explain why in my cruise videos, in like, yeah, whichever one St Lucia was, I think that was part 3. But yeah, St Lucia just, it's overhyped and overrated. I think it's a port that a lot of people go to. A lot of people think that's, oh, this is going to be the best port because it's popular, it's known everywhere, like it's just one of those places that people go on a land holiday rather than just visiting it on a cruise. So I was expecting good things. And their #1 beach we went to, again, you'll see it in the video if you want to go back and watch that, it just wasn't nice. It just looked old, tacky. It looked very, it just looked dodgy. It didn't look like a nice area. And yeah, I didn't like it. It wasn't very nice. I didn't feel particularly safe, to be honest. And yeah, it was just disappointing. It did help that we went to the rum therapy bar in the evening, because that was fun, and there were some nice shops, and there was a St Lucia sign, so that it was nice after that. But that day and the beach is meant to be the top beach in St Lucia. It's called Reduit. It wasn't nice. So if you're going to St Lucia, I probably wouldn't recommend that beach. There is another one that they said to go to, I think called Sugar Beach. So if we go there again, I think we'll go to that beach instead. because I did not enjoy Reduit Beach at all. It's sad to say. In terms of like what to do in all the ports, they are very similar in the way that a lot of them are going to a beach, going to see a waterfall, going to see mountains, volcanoes, or you know, if there are any. But yeah, a lot of them are just going to a beach, or you go somewhere and then end at a beach. They're all very similar because the beaches they're fairly similar, but like they're all so amazing. You don't get sick of the beaches. You really don't, I promise you. But when we did shore excursions, we had them booked through P&O, and I feel like they were all definitely worth the price. I think my favourite one was St Vincent, because we got to view the volcano, we went to that black beach, and the vibe on board was just amazing. Just there was music, everyone was having fun. Yes, the rain was a bit dodgy, like it was raining, but you're in the Caribbean, who cares? We also loved St Kitts as well. That was the shore excursion called Cruise, Swim and Steel Band. They took us over to Nevis, so that's like part of it's like St Kitts and Nevis, but they took us over to that island, and that beach was amazing. Oh my god, it was beautiful. And then again we had like a dance party, and like there was unlimited rum punch that I didn't drink because I don't drink, but everyone was just having a fun time, and that's all you want. I think that's what they're known for there, is just having a good time, having a party. They're so free and they live for the moment, and that's what you get there. And everyone's just so welcoming, honestly. Every port we went to, the locals were lovely, and they were so happy. And you know, even if it was the other way around, if I was a local there in like you know, St Vincent or something like that, and I saw like cruise ships turning up, I'd be like, oh, because like you just get a load of people coming off and having a look round. But no, everyone was so nice, everyone was so happy to see you and happy to welcome you to, you know, to the island. And it was just so welcoming, everyone was approachable. Even like the staff on all of the shore excursions that we did were happy and excited to have you there. And that's all you wanted, and we just felt so happy. And why aren't you going to be happy when you're on holiday on a cruise ship in the Caribbean? And it was also, on the cruise, it was also we did a few firsts. So I've never snorkeled before. I love like being in the water and stuff, but there's always, you know, that fear of the unknown or fear of what's underneath you, because it's like, you know, we've only discovered like 10% of water in the whole world, so we don't know what the rest of the 90% is. So you're always a bit apprehensive, especially when you're just going into the open ocean and just seeing what's literally there where your legs are. But it was amazing. It was just so interesting, and I felt safe because there was staff members just there surrounding you with, like, you had the life vests on, and yeah, everything was amazing. And I felt really proud of myself that I did that. And the same for my mum, because she did the free excursion that you got at the boatyard, and she went and saw turtles, rays, like a massive fish like that big, and she like, that was deeper than where I went in Grenada, and she did it, and she was like, I've just done it, I can't believe I just did that. And yeah, they actually saw a turtle, like a real turtle. I've never seen a turtle before. So yeah, it was just a cruise full of firsts, really. Another thing I wanted to mention was that the staff and the service that they provided on board. It's no secret that I think a lot of cruise lines, or even just companies in the travel industry, have taken a big hit because of COVID, and staff have gone elsewhere and things like that, or they just don't want to work. But the staff on board were doing their absolute best, and they are continuing to work extremely hard to provide a high standard of service, and that's all you want. And we could see it. They were trying. That, you know, some of them had more than one job. I think that's the norm now on cruise lines, and they were just amazing. They were really outstanding. They couldn't do enough for you. I mean, yes, sometimes there was a wait, and that, you know, there was a wait for drinks, or there was a wait for them to come and order your food at dinner. But it didn't stop us from having an amazing time. And if that is ruining your holiday, you're having to wait 10 minutes rather than 2 minutes for a drink, then I think you need to rethink your life choices. I've been on my fair share of cruises now, and the service is always second to none. I've never had any issues with service staff. You'll always see on like FIFO and TripAdvisor, there's comments about, you know, the staff didn't do this for me, the staff didn't do that. Take it with a pinch of salt, because the staff are there and they really, really want to help you, and you can see it. You can really see that they are trying their best, and I hope they know that we really do appreciate them. And, you know, without them we probably wouldn't be able to go on these cruises, because we wouldn't have the staff, so they wouldn't be able to sail the ships. So just, yeah, a big thank you to all of the staff on Britannia, because they made the 2 weeks just amazing, amongst other things. But yeah, they were definitely a factor into how much we enjoyed it. And as always on board, there were plenty of things to do. We did quizzes, we watched shows, we watched a film in the like cinema. There's always things to do on a cruise, and this cruise was no exception. I do just want to give a shout out to the Fortunes. They were the best entertainment show we've seen ever on a cruise, not just on this one, but ever. Probably ever in my whole life. I would, like I said in the video, I would pay to see them at like the West End. They were absolutely outstanding. If you're on a cruise, or if you're anywhere, because I know they do a lot of cruise ships, but if you're anywhere and they're performing, go and see them. You will not be like, you will miss out if you don't go and see them. It's yeah, their voices, they're really nice people, because they have a nice chat with you. They sing songs that everyone knows. Like, that's what we want, because we have a lot of varied genres in our family when it comes to music. But they did an outstanding job, and that was definitely the best show I've seen ever on a cruise ship. In terms of food, we ate in a couple of places, but we're all very quite picky with food. Well, we've got we've got a vegetarian, we've got me that doesn't really eat much, we've got mum who has to have vegan alternatives to like dairy, things like that. We found it was a bit difficult, not gonna lie, on this cruise to find foods for dietary needs. It was quite difficult. Mum was she was always asking the staff, and they were able to provide her with an option, like whether that's dessert they had to get from another restaurant, or, you know, something like that. They did find alternatives for mum. But yeah, I do think that the food was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, when we had the food it was always amazing. But yeah, we felt like that maybe the dietary requirements, and if you've got diets, make sure to let them know. And if you're eating in like a specialty restaurant like the Glass House, somewhere like that, it's best to let them know that you plan to eat there, so they can arrange something prior, because we had that issue before. But it was okay in the end. But yeah, they like to be notified, but I know sometimes you can't notify them, because sometimes you can't book, you just have to turn up, so you don't know if you will definitely get in there. But just save everyone a favour by just telling everyone that you've got dietary needs, because it does help the situation. So yeah, everything was great in terms of the food. The food was really nice, and yeah, I would definitely recommend the Glass House, because we went there twice. It was two different menus actually. We only thought it was one menu, but there was actually two. And yeah, both times really nice. I had the three little dishes for like £7 or something like that. Amazing, really good for your money. And it's a nice atmosphere as well, because on Britannia the Glass House is by the atrium, so you can hear like the music from the people in the atrium, you can hear all the atmosphere from everyone in the atrium. So yeah, it was a really nice atmosphere and a really nice dinner there. But yeah, if I will say something again, just make sure you're notifying people of any dietary needs, even if it's just that you're like a vegetarian. Just make sure you tell them that. So overall, having had time to reflect and just think about the cruise, it was amazing. It was just a perfect holiday. It was outstanding. Everything was amazing. Like I have said already in this video, so many things just really impressed us, like the embarkation, the suite, the service, and yeah, everything was amazing. And of course, I'm going to say, if you're ever thinking about booking a cruise, not like a specific itinerary, but if you're booking a cruise, definitely look at P&O, because they really do have a bit of everything for everyone, and that's all you want really. So I would definitely recommend P&O Cruises. And of course I would definitely recommend the Caribbean. It is a stunning place to go, just beautiful ports, lovely people, nice rum also I've heard from the fam. But yeah, everything is just amazing there, so I would definitely recommend going to the Caribbean if you can. So thank you all for watching. I hope you found my Caribbean vlogs interesting, and if you didn't, let me know what you would find interesting and I can certainly try my best for you. I will be doing probably one more video for like the Caribbean videos, which is going to be a full suite review. So I'll mention a lot of things like the butler, what's included, the benefits you get of booking. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing a video for that, so look out for that. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching this video. I again have loved the Caribbean, definitely will be going back there, but thank you very much for watching. See you later.